As the reality of budget cuts hits home with state agencies and the people who rely on their services, pressure is mounting for the governor and legislative leaders to take action. Revenue shortfalls are leading to a big hole in the budget.
We're going to reevaluate the data. We're going to find out from agency heads just what impact the current cuts have had and what impact additional cuts would have, and where we can make targeted strategic cuts that don't affect core services. And then we're going to evaluate whether or not to call a special session.
If it continues on this current path, which of course we all hope that it doesn't, we will end up somewhere around $1 billion short.
Senate President Pro Tem Glenn Coffey has committed his appropriation committees to gathering the information needed to decide if a special session in January is necessary to craft a way to help state agencies handle the cuts and absorb the at least $1 billion revenue shortfall. To better address the budget situation and a possible special session, Governor Henry and the legislative leaders want more information.
It requires us to go back to the experts and say, reevaluate our budget projections. Give us better figures for where we're going to end up this year, because we don't really know, and we'll never know for sure. But we can do a better job. We can get better figures. We need to know more about what our 2011 budget is going to look like also.
Getting a better grip on what the revenues will be like for the rest of this fiscal year is imperative for leaders because they want to consider more than the current budget.
That's key in trying to determine how much rainy day we're going to use and how much in further cuts might be needed. We just need that in our decision-making process.
We're having to deal with the current shortfall as well as keep an eye on the future and hope. And it's certainly a guessing game to some degree. Nobody knows for sure when the economy will be back to full steam.
The State Board of Equalization will meet on December 21st to determine the first estimate of what state revenue should be like for the next fiscal year. That information, coupled with the findings of the public hearings on budget cuts by the legislature, will be considered in the decision whether or not a special session will be called in January. From Oklahoma City, Jason Doyle, the Oklahoma News Report.